having high standards is a huge Saturn thing and a huge Capricorn thing. And I've been trying to understand this over the past decade. It's been a thing I've been fascinated by, that part of it, because one of the things I've seen is like a superpower for Saturn and for Capricorn people sometimes, or people with heavy Capricorn placements, is the ability to see what's wrong with something, or to see the negative things in something, and the weaknesses, which can make them really excellent critics of things. But sometimes that criticism, which most often is visibly seen being projected outwards onto other things and other people, so that they're able to, like, similarly to Virgo in that way, like Virgo is able to see, the microscopic details and issues. Like Virgo can be, for example, very good at like proofreading a text and then just like seeing typos in it that other people might miss. Capricorn has a similar ability to do things, but to see the larger cracks in larger structures and the problems with them and the way that it could have been done better. But one of the problems is that sometimes that criticism, just as much as it's projected outwards and externally, it's also projected internally as a self-criticism. And sometimes one of the downsides with that can be inaction, or an inability to do anything because it's not good enough, or it doesn't meet up to their very high expectations. So sometimes people with those placements can, when they do produce something, it can take a while, but it will be of the highest quality because they do their very best job, not having any problems or errors or cracks in it. But other times when that tendency malfunctions, part of the malfunction is an inability to finish things or get things done, because it's never quite good enough for them to like let it go and release it and finish that.
Yeah. Absolutely. The awareness of fault lines, if we're going to keep with the tectonic plate metaphors, absolutely, as a Capricorn quality, like I can see where the foundation is not going to be strong enough here, or it's like, it's good enough for now, but we are building in a place that has earthquakes. And so maybe we shouldn't build anything at all, because at some point in the next 500 years, it's going to get destroyed. Almost too long of a vision, or like too long of a timeline getting incorporated into pretty immediate decision making. That awareness of consequences can be quite paralyzing.
Yeah, like the stagnation component of Saturn. Saturn representing things that can't, like, you can't move forward, you can't move past this line. I think that can really come in for Capricorn placements, like when they have set their expectations too high, almost like not being aware of their own limitations, like when it comes to like personal finances or personal mental health, or even like physical ability. A Capricorn placement might be trying to achieve something that is beyond the limitations of their real reality. So that can be debilitating, because you never are able to reach that goal. So it's almost like a process for Capricorns over their lifetime to like find those boundaries, like you're saying, like find those tectonic edges of like where's that sweet spot of like what I'm capable of doing and what I want to do. And
there's also something about resourcing with that, of just like, I should be able to do it with a quarter of a tank of gas. I don't need to buy gas, right? I don't need to spend money, or I don't need to receive help, or those sorts of things. Like, I think that's one of the limitations that I've witnessed Capricorn come up against quite a lot, especially, throughout like the time of everybody with Saturn and Capricorn going through their Saturn returns, and observing a lot of that, of just, it's like you hit a wall, not because that wall is permanent, but because you don't have the appropriate tools or resourcing to get over the wall. So if you give yourself the resources you need, you can get over the wall. And then there's a resistance to receiving or gathering those resources because it hasn't been earned, quote unquote. yet. You know, earning is a very Capricorn thing. I have to earn what XYZ. And if I don't perceive myself to have earned it, then I don't deserve it, even though whatever it is actually exactly what you need to push past the limitations you're experiencing.
Yeah, Capricorn's very allergic to entitlement.
Yeah.
And that also that feels resonant in terms of like once we look at the relationship between Capricorn and Cancer, just that Capricorn placements reaching that limitation to where they do have to finally reach across the aisle and ask for someone with help, you know, taking care of some of the aspects of the project, like calling in the moon perhaps to take care of their physical self.
Ooh, I'm being reminded. So in the Thomas Taylor translation of the Orphic hymn to Saturn, Kronos, whatever, the word obstetric or the phrase obstetric nature gets used, which is reflected in the original Greek, but whatever. It's not, I don't speak Greek. So
what does that word mean? I don't
speak. Obstetric nature. So it's like obstetric, like of obstetrics, like an OBGYN, an obstetrics doctor is somebody like who facilitates birthing. Exactly. Like bringing things into the world. And one of the things that I was just reminded of, especially with the Capricorn Cancer axis, is whenever people are pregnant, if they aren't consuming enough nutrients for both their gestating child and their own personal body, you know, it's like they need to be consuming enough minerals and vitamins and macronutrients and things like that for both them and their child. If they aren't consuming enough like fats and minerals and things like that for both of them, the body prioritizes growing their child, which means that can lead to like perinatal osteoporosis and like neurological degeneration and things like that. And so there's a very tidy metaphor for Capricornian types of just prioritizing so much what is being built that there is a forgetting of the necessity of resourcing the self as the one doing the building.
Yeah, absolutely. Like there's that alienation from the self or from the body. Think of because of Capricorn being opposite to Cancer, which is, you know, the moon representing the body. It's like as far away as you can get from the needs of the body and the needs of the emotions, like the needs of that of the
animal softness. Yeah,
exactly.
But also that's very frequently entirely what's necessary to not just self-sacrifice on the altar of your legacy, but participate in your legacy.
Yeah, get down into your body and into your relationships, or almost like who are you doing all of this for? Like if Capricorn is working towards something but is completely alone on their mountaintop, it's, you know, depending on the person, they might be into that, but often there is that craving for Cancer to have like some family, some people that you love that you can share your accomplishments with.
Yeah. Who is the legacy for?
Yeah.
Yeah.